So 5 more races to go. A total of 29 this weekend. Junior Rotax Final 2 about to get underway. And here is your grid. Kai Hillertz, who won Final 1 earlier on, will have Valentin Klus alongside. Tim Gerhard's, Hillertz's chief protagonist, will be on row 2. And alongside him will be Freddie Spindlow from Great Britain. Magnus Pedersen and Carol Schultz will be on row 3, ahead of Germany's Farin Mega and Nick Gerhardt from the Netherlands, twin brother to Tim. Raphael Henhofer and Bruno Mulders complete the top 10, ahead of Kian Agasade, Eliska Babikova, Theo Eriksson, Christian de Klein, Thomas Martins, Matti Sturlo, Maurice Schmeis, Adrian Labuda, Max Knappen and Austin Lee rounding out the top 20. Rafael Gwiczak and Maximilian Angelard, 21st and 22nd. Ahead of Gilles Chloé, Petra Babikova, Thomas Strauben, Nikita Genza and Lukas Schoenmakers. So Schoenmakers was disqualified apparently post-final number 1. So 27 drivers set to go into their final race, which in duration will be 11 minutes plus an additional lap. Starting around the circuit itself, but temperatures still, there's a little bit of mugginess in the air, a little bit of humidity, but it is dry. And this will provide a full out sprint over the next 11 minutes plus a lap. Into the tram lines that we go. Do we go green for this time around? We do. And a great start from Kai Hillertz, who manages to keep the lead for the moment, as Valentin Klus tries to go up the inside. But Freddie Spindlow side by side with the German goes into P2 through turn 4. Tim Gerhardt's already keeping himself in 4th position. He's now up the inside, barrels through the number 238 of Magnus Pedersen, who nearly gets swamped around the outside by Farin Mega. So the German now up into 5th place. There is a lot of toing and froing as Raphael Henhofer gets passed by Christian Klein through turn 10. As it is all for themselves at the back of the order. As Thomas Strauben at the back of the field starting to try and move forward. But the top 3 have got a significant breakaway after just the first minute. Hillertz leads from Spindlow. Klus in 3rd place. There's an absolute train going down into turns 2 and 3. Spindlow shuts the door on Valentin Klus going into turn 5. Farin Mega in 4th. Tim Gerhardt and the 255 of Francis Carol Schultz rounds out the top 6. There's an almighty tussle for 7th to 12th place just behind, which involves the likes of the 225 of Kian Agasade from Germany, as Spindlow goes up the inside of Hillertz to take the lead. Valentin Klus powers past the pair of them on the run down to turn 13. Hillertz follows through past the German, getting past the Brit, but Spindlow responds. Across the line they go. Klus now leads. Spindlow in 2nd. Hillertz in 3rd. Farin Mega in 4th. Tim Gerhardt, Carol Schultz, Magnus Pedersen, Theo Eriksson, Christian de Klein and Kian Agasade. Well, it looks like there's been a change, because I think it may be Kian Agasade has made at least maybe another position, but the 210 of Maurice Schmeis has got past Thomas Martins, but has in the meantime been kept behind Kian Agasade from Bureau Racing Team on the Sodi chassis. Austin Lee up to 23rd as now Freddie Spindlow loses out to both Tim Gerhardt and Farin Mega. Oh, off goes Carol Schultz from France and drops way down the order after trying to break going into turn 12 and loses out big time. Farin Mega charging forward, as are many of the other drivers, which includes, I think, Maurice Schmeiser has just got up the inside of Kian Agasade. There's now a few other drivers, which includes Rafael Henhofer getting feisty, as well as Eliska Babikova in the 296. 5-second penalty has now been given to Thomas Strauven, possibly for all four wheels out the tram lines. We'll find out very shortly, as Nick Gerhards looks to be out of the race, unfortunately, on just after the very first lap. And coming into this race, Tim Gerhards has 57 points to his credit. Kai Hillertz 70, as the way things stand at the moment. So Hillertz has a 13-point advantage so far. He'll have 20 points if he keeps it in second position, putting him on 90 points coming out of the race here at Wackersdorf. And then it will be 73 for Tim Gerhards. But Farin Mega has really done himself a massive justice here by keeping moving forward, despite the steering being bent after an incident in qualifying where both front wheels were towing outwards, and he was still battling to get a place on the grid in terms of a respectable lap time. He's managed to showcase that he can fight, as now Kai Hillertz goes up the inside of Valentin Klus for the lead through turn 3 on lap number 6. But Klus not able to respond through turn number 4. Tim Gerhards is absolutely having to fight tooth and nail with Farin Mega, as Freddie Spindlo now rejoins, along with Magnus Pedersen. Christian de Klein rounds out the top 7. Theo Eriksson, Maurice Schmeiser and Eliska Babikova round out the top 10. Rafael Henhofer, who started in 9th round, is in 11th position, as Pedersen goes up the inside of Farin Mega, who's also lost out to Freddie Spindlo. Fastest lap of the race at the minute is in the hands of Nikita Genza in the 226, down in 17th position, as Farin Mega now tries to go up the inside of Magnus Pedersen through into turn 3. But the German does not have enough room to make that happen. Looks up the inside of turn 4 and into 5, but can't get through. Christian de Klein is starting to close. Farin Mega did a 51.982 the last lap, a 51.133 for Christian de Klein. So that was over 0.8 of a second quicker. As now up the inside of Valentin Klus goes Tim Gerhards to take second, as Hillertz still leads. Watch out for Freddie Spindlo. And then Magnus Pedersen and Farin Mega, and the closely catching Christian de Klein. Just under 5 minutes remaining, 4 minutes and 48 plus an additional lap. As up the inside of Tim Gerhards goes both Valentin Klus and Freddie Spindlo. So the pair, as now Spindlo goes up the inside of Klus through turn 6, as Farin Mega tussles with Tim Gerhards, and it nearly pitches around Magnus Pedersen, and I think the biggest loser in that one was Christian de Klein. Mega drops back behind Maurice Schmeiser and Rafael Henhofer and Eliska Babikova. And the frustration of it all just clearly shows. So Christian de Klein out of the race pretty much on lap number 7. He's trying to get the kart going again, but that's a real shame for the Dutch driver. Hillertz now has the lead of just under 0.9 of a second with 4 minutes to go, as the 212 of Thomas Strauven has been silently scything his way through the field. He's got past Farin Mega, he's trying to get past Thomas Martins, and nearly tries to go around the outside through into turn 5, tries to get the cut back through turn 6 and 7, but the 212 now has Bruno Mulders for company. And then just behind, Mathis Turlo. As we've also had another casualty, and that is Kian Agasade, who was running in the top 10, as high as 7th at one point. And now the 2.25 just has to, unfortunately, sit out the rest of the final on the sidelines. Just over 3 minutes to go. Hilitz has a lead of 0.7 of a second. And at the moment, with the way things stand, Hilitz will leave this with effectively a 25 points advantage over Tim Gerhards, who is having to battle with Magnus Pedersen. Eliska Babikova is ahead of Theo Eriksson, who's got Rafael Renhofer closing on his back bumper with an absolute rate of knots, as Lukas Schoenmakers, who ended up starting from the last position on the grid, now hits the top 10. And he's put in the fastest lap of the race of 50.637, and it could have been a case of what could have been for the 2.02. But he's trying to get some points. And only scored 3 in the last final at Karting Genk 4 weeks ago. And there's a great move up the inside from, that was the 2.48 of Max Knappen up the inside of Gilles Chloé. And then there was another change just in front of that. Now everyone's fighting amongst the scraps. Lukas Schoenmakers getting stuck in along with Theo Eriksson. There is a four-way scrap. Schoenmakers tries to go up through the inside of Eriksson through turn 13 and 14, but has Nikita Genza right on the back bumper. Under 90 seconds of this race, plus an additional lap still to go, as it is getting very, very hot under the collar for the drivers competing for 7th position, which is being led at the moment by Theo Eriksson. But Maurice Schmeis, Nikita Genza gets one sent up the inside by Lukas Schoenmakers, and Schoenmakers makes the place. Oh my goodness, Thomas Martins bumps into the side of Bruno Malders in the 2.77 through turn 8, and he drops at a few places. Farin Mega tries to thread the eye of the needle between Thomas Stuyven and Max Knappen. Oh, Mega goes sideways through turn 11, but manages to catch it. Oh, that is getting absolutely chaotic there at the bottom part of what is around about the top 15 positions, and it's not finished yet. 34 seconds on the clock remaining, and Kai Hillertz still keeping himself ahead of everybody, but Freddie Spindlow is closing. Took 16 points, took 13 points in the first final. He'll have 33 if he stays in second, but any racing driver worth their salt will want to go for that victory. Thomas Stuyven, in the meantime, is the one that's the fastest on the circuit. A 50.616. So we've had Adrien Labuda, Christian Decline, Kian Agasade and Nick Gerhards retire. 23 drivers still circulating as Farin Mega gets one thrown up the inside of him, and he gets pushed wide coming out of turn 12. Bruno Malders was on the inside, and there were a couple of other cars just line astern with him. We're now on the final lap of this race as Freddie Spindlow closes onto the back bumper as the swarm goes through still turn 3. I cannot believe what I'm seeing before my very eyes as Lukas Schoenmakers up the inside of Theo Eriksson to take the position, and Nikita Genza tries to filter through 2 on turn 6 and nearly got it through going into turn 7, but couldn't make it past. So just a few more corners to go. I think Freddie Spindlow will be quite happy with a 4th and a 2nd here this weekend at Wackersdorf, as Nikita Genza loses out once again. This time to Thomas Stuyven, who's just got past, but Kai Hillertz does the double here in Germany and takes a maximum score of 50 points, which puts him on 90. Provisionally speaking, at the end of this weekend's action, Freddie Spindlow took 2nd ahead of Valentin Klus. Tim Gerhards will go into Adria in 6 weeks' time, provisionally speaking, with a 25-point deficit, putting him on 70 for round 3. 5th, it was Magnus Pedersen. Eliska Babikova took 6th. Maurice Schmeis took 7th ahead of Lukas Schoenmakers, who finished 8th in the end. Theo Eriksson, Rafael Renhofer, Thomas Stuyven, Nikita Genza, Bruno Malders, Karel Schultz and Thomas Martins rounds out the top 15. Matti Sturlo, Farin Mega. Well, there has been a change for the 212 of Thomas Strauven, who drops to 13th. So Mulders takes 12th, Strauven 13th. Schultz and Martins take round out the top 15, who all score points. Matti Sturlo, Farin Mega, Petra Babikova, Austin Lee and Max Klappen round out the top 20. Gilles Chloé, Rafael Kvitschak and Maximilian Angelard round out the 23 that finished the 14 laps. With Adrien Labuda retiring in lap 8, Christian de Kuyne on lap 7, as well as Kian Agasade and Nick Gerhardt